Okay, so when you look at the linebackers' performance from practice 1 to practice 13, how pleased are you with the development you've seen?
I think a couple guys have really started to stick out. I think Trey Brown's really come along. Been really encouraged with him. His leadership, his understanding, playing different positions, really become very productive and guy we're really going to count on. Tate came a long ways. Will Schaefer showing some things. Caleb McCullough's had a really good spring, especially the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 scrimmages. James Juckum's really starting to show up as well. So, and there's some other guys pushing as well. There's no final decisions being made, but certainly some guys working hard, understanding the base fundamentals, and now we got to continue to hone in on the details and get better at those.
With your long history with Trey, I would like to think that his expectation level of you of him would be sky high, but suffice to say that he really did fulfill those expectations.
Yeah, you know what, and I think that's just a sign of maturity. You know what I mean? And Trey's such a consummate guy. I mean, he handles and goes about things in such it's a unique way, and it's a special way. And as a coach, it's awesome, especially when you're trying to, I'd say, establish a new culture that you can point at a guy and say, you see how the way he does this, you see how the way he approaches this, whether it's his nutrition, whether it's his film study, whether it's the way he practices, whether, you know what I mean? And the best part about it, too, is when he does make mistakes, Trey's awesome. I can coach him the hardest and set the tone for everybody else. And he's understanding of that, and he that's why whatever he does in life, he's going to be really successful. He's got a hunger to be successful.
When it comes to implementing the playbook, did you find yourself throughout spring maybe going at a faster pace than you thought, or maybe a slower pace?
Probably a little bit faster, but I think that goes into testament to the kids. They're willing to, I think, learn, buy in, study extra, you know what I mean, correct the mistakes. We're not perfect. We haven't arrived, you know what I mean? But I'd say a lot of the credit goes to the kids as far as just going, okay, we want to get better at this. We want to know about this. We can take, we talk a lot about foundational teaching and same as teaching, and they can take concepts and relate them to something else. So I would give a lot of credits to the kids on that.
When it comes to the performance of the linebackers, sometimes you're at the mercy, quote unquote, of the defensive line in front of you. How much have you seen from that front four that has helped your group develop?
Oh man, that's a really good front. It's a really good front. So I know Coach Amy and Coach Regal are doing a heck of a job with those guys, and obviously we're going to play off them, and we're going to make them right. And they're disruptive, and they're getting after things. So it's really about the whole unit. It's not necessarily because the corners, the nickels, the safeties tie into their success just as much. The better we all cover, the better they rush. If that makes sense. So.
I know you're about 5 months away from your first game of the season, but how important is it to have a clear picture at the end of spring practice, at least going into the preseason camp in August?
I think it's important to have a picture of what our kids understand. I think it's important to have another picture of what guys love football, what guys are willing to work and sacrifice to be better than maybe what they were at the start of the spring. I think it's important to understand what we can and can't do, whether it's from a fundamental, whether it's from a talent standpoint, and then we got to keep driving the competition. Iron sharpens iron, so we got to continue to push that. And our job's obviously put these young men in the best situation to make plays and be successful.
What are you expecting to see from, I guess, not just your position group, but the defense as a whole on Saturday?
Just hope we play really hard. That's the number one thing. You want to play really hard. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be little wrinkles. There's going to be a lot of fun. I think, the biggest thing when you get a game like that is going to be a lot of distractions and how they handle those distractions. I think as a coach, you love to see that stuff because that's sometimes stuff you can't simulate in scrimmage. So how they handle those things, and you want to see them finish the spring strong from a standpoint of having fun and enjoying each other and celebrating together, and that's what we want to see.